Welcome back to the Tomahawk. I'm Mike. Got Matt up top, Justin on the bottom, and we are going to go over the playoffs. They have finally started, and we're going to get right into it. We've got the Avalanche are up 1-0 over the Blues. The Golden Knights, the Vegas is tied with the Wild. Maple Leafs, Canadians haven't played yet. Oilers versus Jets have not played yet. Penguins versus Islanders are 1-1. Capitals and Bruins, as of now, are 2-1. And Hurricanes versus Predators, that game is being played right now. It's 1-0. And Panthers versus Lightning is 2-0. Panthers are up.
No,
Lightning are up.
Yep.
And let's start with the Avalanche, guys. Avalanche and Blues. It's up 1-0. What do you guys see? Go up with you first, Matt.
I saw Binnington stand on his head just for his team to let him down. I think the shots were almost like that last Hawks game. I think it was 51-20.
Wow.
It might be a little off, but Binnington played great. They just couldn't get him support.
Yeah. I mean, McKinnon had 3 points. He had 2 goals and an assist. And I feel like if he's rolling, you know, like you said, Binnington's going to have to stand on his head, because if you got McKinnon going, you're not at a loss, but it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be an uphill battle for St. Louis. And I mean, I know we talked about they got a little bit of that veteran leadership, some of that grit and grime, and they've been there. They know what to expect. But man, when you got McKinnon starting off the series with 3 points, it's like, oh man, you might have a rough go, but we'll see.
There was a soundbite of I think it was probably other teams' announcers, but he goes, "Oh, someone left McKinnon open. That's not smart."
No,
right in the slot. Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I mean, obviously we know McKinnon and we know he's a great player, but I feel like he doesn't get all the press.
No,
not as much as somebody that's in a. Not to say Denver's not a big market, but I don't know. I feel like if he was somewhere else, I think he might get more publicity. But either way, I mean, I could totally see him taking down the Blues himself if he's rolling. So,
did you see Cale Makar make that stutter step at the blue line and just break that guy's ankles?
What I wouldn't give to have him manning our blue line as a Hawk.
And then they got Bo Byram coming up too.
Yeah,
who's supposed to be better.
And he was a guy the Hawks could have drafted, right? I mean,
yeah, we picked Doc. Yeah,
who knows? Maybe Doc he'll continue to grow next year. But I really think Colorado's going to keep rolling. I think St. Louis might squeak one out if, like you said, if Binnington really knocks it out of the park and the defense and offense can somehow come together for St. Louis. But otherwise, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, it's only one game in.
He had a meltdown at the end of the game.
Yes,
he was irate. He was going nuts.
Yeah.
He was just trying to fire his team up, and they got to help him out. I still think they could maybe take him to 7, but
it's early.
If they're playing like that, though, McKinnon's on fire, it's going to be a quick one.
I mean, I could see Berube kind of reading him the riot act after that game, don't you think? To be a fly on the wall in that dressing room.
Yeah, old school guy.
Yeah,
for your Toronto, Matthews won the Rocket Richard Trophy.
Yes, he did.
41 or 42?
I thought it was 41.
I thought he had 41 goals in 52 games.
Okay, not to jump off topic from the Avs and Blues, but can we? I know we mentioned this before we started recording. Can we just talk about how freaking dumb the NHL is to start all these series? And I'm sitting like an a-hole for a week now, waiting for the Maple Leafs and Canadians to start. I get, the Flames and the Canucks had to finish their series, but
why?
Yeah, for the draft purpose. I read that today,
which is fine. I get that, but I mean, they're playing. Those two teams are playing not right now, but they were playing all week while the playoff games were going on. Just let the other
play.
Let the rest of the North Division start. Who cares, right? I mean,
right.
If I get, maybe there's guys on Vancouver and Calgary that got, bonuses about games played, goals scored, plus minus whatever, stat they want to throw in the contract. But I mean, now you got the Maple Leafs and the Canadians. I mean, I guess it's evenly matched in terms of them. Neither one has seen game speed, ice time in the last week now. But still, it's like, come on, I feel like leave it to the NHL. They always find a way to screw something up.
It's almost like they want Carey Price to get 100% for this series.
And
Shea Weber.
If I put my my tinfoil hat on and I'm Gary Bettman, I might be willing to believe that one, actually. So
It could be.
I wonder if there's some kind of clause that says that you can't start the playoffs without the regular season concluding.
Maybe. I mean, and I guess obviously, with the divisions as they are this year, everything's messed up and all over the place. But still, it's driving. Every night I get home, and I know it starts on Thursday, but I'm still force of habit. I check the app on my phone. I'm like, all right, what games are tonight, so I know what I want to watch. I'm like, where's the map? Yeah, it's like, oh good, Calgary and Vancouver, great, can't wait to watch that one.
It's like they started at 3:00.
Yeah. One game it was just stick this on in the afternoon. No one will know. No one will even know what's going on. Just get this over with. So,
yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll move on to the Knights versus the Wild series, tied 1-1. What do you guys got going on with that one? Go ahead, Matt.
Alex Tuck, man, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. That guy's just a beast, and Minnesota must be so pissed that they let him go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just blows my mind.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
That
incredible.
Was,
still,
you took the words right out of my mouth. To see that guy have another resurgence, not that he ever went away, but like having Leonard there to back him up, or having Leonard take the job a little bit last year, like to see Fleury turn it on again and be the number one guy. I feel like this is like the second or third time he's kind of had to take the reins back after kind of losing the starting job a little bit throughout his career. I mean, he lost it from what's his name?
Murray.
He lost it from Murray. Lost it a little bit last year from Renner. Sorry, and just to kind of see
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah, he's playing now. He's playing the NHL now. But like just to see that, it's awesome. I mean, he from all accounts, everything I've read about him, he is just like a class act guy across the board, and to see him kind of turn it back up and be on another Stanley Cup contending team, it's awesome. To the Wild's credit, I mean, they got one game, so
it could easily be 2-0. He was the first star of the game.
Oh yeah,
and he's lost in OT. It's just a shame he couldn't get the shutout.
Yeah, exactly.
Did everything he could.
What about Kaprizov? How's he doing?
I'm not sure. I didn't notice him as much. I know it was a 1-0 win game one, and I think the Knights Tuck got going, and Leonard, he's got me saying it now. Fleury.
It looks like Kaprizov had 2 penalty minutes, 2 shots on goal, 1 hit, and 2 blocks.
Wow.
So that's
gonna be a while. He's a rookie. So
yeah.
It's a different ball game now.
He's the Russian KGB in the NHL now.
He's the phenom, yeah. So yeah, I mean, playoffs are a whole different beast, right? I mean, maybe he's kind of got to work his way into it a little bit. I mean, I'm looking at the box score from the last Wild Knights game, and you can just kind of tell the Wild, they had 35 shots, but they also they weren't nearly as
surprised
physical.
Me.
They did, yeah.
I didn't think it would be this close.
No, I really didn't think so either. I mean, Dumba looks like he had a decent game in the second game. Brodin wasn't too bad either. Suter's just kind of there hogging ice time, which I mean, I guess is a good thing. Dumba had 8 blocks. Holy cow!
Wow.
So I feel for these guys. I mean, they're giving it their all, and then you got Talbot in net for the Wild, and I feel like he came into the league with such a big, Such a big he came into New York and he was already anointed like going to be this next amazing thing for the Rangers, and then he went to the Oilers, didn't do anything there, and now he's on his 3rd team already. I don't know. Fourth team? That's right, 4th team. Is he who I would want back there in a playoff series? Probably not, but I mean, they have a great team in front of them. It's just, can he withstand Vegas? And Vegas has got so much firepower. I don't see them losing this series, but
yeah, I still think Vegas will close it out in 5.
I think so too.
The way Fleury's playing.
Yeah, without a doubt. I could see them being one of the strong contenders to come out of the West, for sure.
All right. Let's move on to Penguins Islanders. That's tied 1-1. It was the Islanders won the first game in that one, and Penguins came back yesterday. I was actually watching that game. Crosby looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But there really wasn't too much from the game that really stood out. The Islanders were what's that?
The goaltending for the Penguins has been really questionable. That's all they were talking about on Sirius Radio today. Was what is his name? It's Jari, right?
Yeah.
Tristan
They've been
Jarry.
picking his high glove, almost
every
all
time.
the goals.
Yep.
He's so inconsistent, they're saying, and they're they're saying he's like the weakest part of their team. And
Wow.
but after he has a loss, he's 8-0 and won the next game. So that's been the thing. They're saying he's like the worst goalie in the playoffs right now.
That's funny that you mentioned that stat because they did lose the first game and they won yesterday.
Yep. Yeah.
And he looked pretty solid yesterday, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think they're exploiting his high glove, because the first game was at Palmieri, got 2 nice, snipe shots, and then that must be the scouting report on the guy. So hopefully
it's got to be
tightens up and gets that glove going.
I'm kind of rolling on the Islanders bandwagon a little bit here. I'd like to see them make it, not to upset Dave Hansen. I know he's a Penguins fan now, being in Pittsburgh, but I don't want him coming after me. But yeah, I mean, the second game, that was one I kind of seeked out to watch, and I was impressed with not so much the first game, but the second game, the goaltending on both sides. Like, I'm not a big Varlamov guy. He had a 956.
Why'd they change him?
I have no idea.
They win game 1 and they go back to Varlamov. It's been weird with these goalies.
But he had a 956 save percentage in that second game. He stopped 42 of 44 shots, and then going back to Tristan Jarry, he had a 974 save percentage in game 2. I know he was a little bit weaker in game 1, but he was 35 of 36 shots. So, I mean, the goaltending was spectacular. There was a ton of shots, a lot of chances, a lot of high scoring chances, but we'll see. I
think he made a mistake, Trotz. I think so. If you're winning, the other goalie, I would have.
You got to just roll it out.
Is that his name?
Sorokin. Yeah, I know I saw
it's
an
like
interview.
Q. What are you doing, man?
I saw an interview that Trotz did, and he's like, well, they were asking him who he's going to start before game 2, or maybe it was even before the next game 3, and he's like, well, I can tell you it will be a Russian goaltender, and he just kind of left it at that. But like his whole defensive system, they got to wear down Pittsburgh, and if they can't do that, that's going to be a long series for him. So,
all right, let's move on to Capitals versus Bruins. That's 2-1 now, right, Matt?
Yeah, 2-1. I think Boston's
up 2-1 on the Capitals.
They just double out. That's my Boston accent.
Your Boston
clam
accent.
chowder.
A couple quarters.
Go to the TomaHawk.
The second game, Marchand had a really, really nice OT winner. Just a rocket. Great passing play by the Bruins. Craig Anderson, I guess you could call it my former goalie instructor. He had a great relief win. It was good to see.
Good for him.
Yeah, he had a rough go in the second game. But hey, he managed to go to OT, so you got to give him a little bit of credit on that.
I think I saw Matt, on the Blackhawks, or on the Chicago TomaHawk Twitter, someone posted about him being a Blackhawks legend, and I'm like, I saw you posted, you're like, he backed up Javi Bulin when he was here. Like, I don't know if I would. I mean, I liked him, and I think he seems like a great guy, and he did well in Ottawa and Colorado. But I don't know if I'd call him a Blackhawks legend.
No, he signed as a free agent. I think he spent more time with the Norfolk Admirals.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he was a Hawk, wasn't that like the Michael Leighton, Craig Anderson, Adam Monroe? Does that sound about right?
Yep. He beat him out. Those three. It was like the preseason. Remember, it was the battle of the backup job.
And we were still in high school at that point. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's
pretty good. He got traded to Florida, and then he bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, he made a name for himself in Ottawa for sure for some of those playoff runs they had. But
Taylor Hall, boys, he's ripping it up too.
Man, it's amazing what happens when you get out of Buffalo.
Maybe that's good for your career. You go to Buffalo, you suck, and then you leave, and then you tear it up.
He just saved himself, scoring these big goals. He's going to be like, yep, my bottom is going to be $8 million now. That's
show
what
me
he's
the money.
Say.
Yeah.
He's going to want term.
Oh,
I think Boston, if they keep going, he's going to get it. I think they're going to say, hey, Rask, see you later, bud. We need this guy.
What kind of contract do you think you get? Like term and cap hit?
Maybe
4 years,
4 or 5 years,
32 million, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe more. Maybe 40 million. You're right. Maybe around that.
I mean, it depends. Like, I feel like there's going to have to be some leniency. Like, you want to go.
He's got to take a discount.
Yeah, you want shorter term but more money, or you want less money but longer term and stability. Like, you know what I mean?
Or you want shorter term, less salary, and competing for the playoffs every year.
Exactly.
You come here. If you want to go get paid, go back to Arizona. Yeah.
Man, can you imagine everyone's heads explode if he goes back to Buffalo because they give him a huge, massive
They give
offer?
him $14 million.
Yeah.
It's like, for the love of God, please, here, we'll just keep the dump trucks coming with cash. How much do you want?
Yeah.
You won't
Come
make
on
it into
back,
the Hall
Taylor.
of Fame, but we'll pay you.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think he might get some. I think he'll get the maybe. I don't know, man. Maybe 5 years. 5 years.
10 million, 50 million.
5 for 50.
total.
I think that'd be fair.
I was thinking 5 years for 5 years for 45, even 9 million.
9. Yeah.
I mean, the cap's not going up again, right?
I actually
no.
think it.
Well,
let's
they haven't mentioned anything about the TV deal yet.
Oh, that's right.
Or
So, I mean, if that goes up, there might be there you go. The inflation, a little bit of contracts might start going back up again. But
Yeah, I mean, it could be 11 million at that point. You know.
yeah. That ESPN.
And
That
goodbye,
sweet,
Rask.
Yeah. I think Rask stays in Boston or numbered. But I mean, he had a hell of a career there. I would not
still
mind
winning
him.
for him.
I would not mind him coming to Chicago to tutor Lankinen, show him the ropes a little bit. Two fins, yeah.
Yep.
Little connection there. I'd be on board with that. So
Yep.
It makes you wonder. Is like how much mentorship does somebody need? You know, how much can they, or until they could fly off on their own? You know, some guys they can just jump in and play. You know, and other guys really need mentorship from a pro.
right.
I think Crawford had Marty Turco for a season.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
You know, and he
Teach him how to play the puck.
kind of was behind Hobby Bolin a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, here up and down, but
Yeah.
I think Lankinen needs somebody that, you know, like the Hawks need a guy who could go in and win games. Not
That's the
Yeah.
big one.
rely
Yeah.
on Malcolm Subban.
Yeah.
We need a guy
Or even to
that's
just
proven,
to come in and relieve,
you know?
and say,
Yes.
hey, you're going to
Yeah.
get a start, and
We'll call Craig Anderson.
someone put in some solid minutes.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So who do you guys got with Hurricanes and Hurricanes versus Predators?
Canes,
Canes all the
just
way.
won. They're up 2-0.
That might be a
in the
sweep,
series,
I think.
and they're they just won 3-0.
What was the
Which
score
is
of the first
exciting.
game, Matt?
You know what? I don't remember, but
'Cause
I
I-
know
It was
the fans were
5-2 was the first game.
Yeah, that's what I
5-2
that's what I
Wild.
thought it was. I just wanted to check because it was kind of a little bit of a runaway.
Yeah, 5-2 and then 3-0 tonight.
I saw they did their storm surge again the other night when they won on home ice. So
I'll tell you what, that building looks awesome. People are rocking.
They're
rolling
rocking,
in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's a team. You know, you think of Arizona, you think of Florida, and it's like, why? You know, they don't deserve a team. They don't have any fans. But man, as much as I want to lump Carolina into that, when they're good, that fan base is nuts. And I mean, I know they've talked about it on XM as well. Like, I think a couple of years ago, they had the All-Star game or the NHL awards not NHL awards, the All-Star game, I want to say, in Carolina. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that was
Probably.
about 5 years ago or something.
And
like that?
and I just remember them talking on XM. They're like, man, you know, the fan base there is crazy for this team. Like they just
all
absolutely
they
love
got.
it. That's all
Yeah.
they got. Yeah, they got nothing else there, right? So besides like college football and college basketball. So I mean, they get on
Yeah.
board, and it's great to see, right? And of course, they got the Whalers ties, so I'm always going to support them too. So
Well, and they make money. You know, they're not like, you know, they spend money to be good. They're not like the Coyotes every season.
no, and I mean, I was a little worried when that new owner came in a couple of years ago because he kicked Ron Francis to the curb and was like putting his finger in the cookie jar a little bit, wanting to have a say on the team. And it's like, just let these guys do their job. They're NHL, you know, they know what they're doing. But I don't know if he's kind of dialed it down a little bit now, and they're just doing their thing. But good for them. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that kid goalie, the Russian
Nadalkov or
yeah.
I just said it.
Nedeljkovic, maybe.
I think you're right.
That kid, I thought for sure they were going to roll with Mrazek this whole time, but that kid looked great. I mean,
Nedeljkovic, yeah.
he was stopping everything that was thrown at him, so good for him.
Well, I think the Canadians did that GM a huge favor. Is it Don Waddell?
Yeah, Don Waddell.
That offer sheet for Sebastian Aho at $9 million, and he matched it. He's like, "Oh, we were expecting to pay a lot more."
Yeah.
And this guy had a great game tonight. He had
He's
2
like,
goals,
done.
opened
Yeah,
up
where
the
do I
scoring.
Where do you sign
Yeah.
for that one?
The only thing is that $21 million bonus, signing bonus.
Wow.
Yeah, that might
And
come
I
back to
think-
bite him.
That's what they made in sales. I think when this was a couple of years ago when he signed it, but they showed his signing bonus being the same as sales and like
Yeah.
jerseys and apparel and all that stuff. So
I mean,
as an owner, you don't want to see that.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, like as a fan base though, that would make me happy seeing like my money that I'm putting into the team is going to keep these guys around, right? Like as an owner,
he's a
I'd
good
be
player.
As an owner, I'd be pissed because there's all my
Revenue.
revenue. Exactly, there's where it went. But at least as a fan, you're like, all right, they're using it. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of my team on the north side of Chicago right now who has all this money and cries poor every time. So
Well,
that's another day.
What's Ricketts? He's asset
God.
rich and cash poor.
Yeah, has no money, no problem building up the stadium in Wrigleyville, but no money for the team. So
Especially because it's on credit.
exactly, but that's neither here nor there. So
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't feel sorry for anyone that builds anything in Chicago. You're just asking for trouble.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right, now we got Panthers versus Lightning. Lightning are up
Oh man,
2-0. The first game was an absolute.
that was a amazing game.
Yeah, it was nuts. The second game didn't really live up to the hype of the first game.
No, it didn't.
But I thought the first game was great. That was a 6-5 affair.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was the best hockey I've seen since 2010 playoffs against the Canucks.
Even yesterday, yesterday's game was pretty good. The Panthers lost in the end. The game ended up being 3-1 with one empty net goal. Both teams are playing each other really tight, and they are. These are the top two teams. To be honest with you, Tampa Bay, Florida, and Carolina, man, they're just really tough, and it was just really exciting to see these guys go head to head. I'm curious what Q is going to do in the third game because I thought that it was kind of crazy to take Bobrovsky out because of the amount of money that they're paying him.
Yep.
Yeah, that threw me off. I was shocked. Like we just said, in Carolina, you got that rookie kid that's playing lights out, but you have Bobrovsky who. Yeah, it was a high-scoring game, but I mean, nothing really stood out as awful, right? At least from my eyes, I didn't see anything that was like, "Oh God, get this guy out of here." But then you go to the kid that is it Drager?
Drager, yeah.
Drager, yeah.
That you put him in, and it's like, all right, that's a lot of pressure.
That's a Q thing, man.
You're right. I mean, he always had a thing with playing goalies. I mean, like, was it the 2013 when he pulled Crawford for Darling in the first series against Nashville?
Yeah,
or was it
Darling
2015?
started, won a game, then he lost. He was getting lit up, and he put Crawford back in.
So I don't know. I mean, like I know we were talking earlier. It's like I don't want to second guess Quenneville because we've seen how good he is and how many times he's gotten his name on the cup. But it's like, dang, you misplay that a little bit one more time, and you're going to be in a really deep hole,
especially against the Lightning.
Yeah,
you can't do that against the champs.
And I mean, they got everybody back, Stamkos and was it Kucherov, and they're ready to rock.
He's on fire too. Yeah, he's healthy.
Yeah,
clearly. The guy's been healthy for months.
That's smart. I'd shut him down. That's your freaking franchise right there.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes,
yeah,
it is.
especially with all that money that they're paying him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, this is a really great series. I really hope this isn't like one of those 4-0 things where the second team is just one step behind the whole time. They've had stretches of it being good. It seems like there's been a lot of like momentum shifts, and both teams are trying to play the momentum shifts. But the majority of the momentum has been with the Lightning. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm curious what happens in the next game, which goalie's going to start, and
Spencer Knight.
I just think it's crazy, man, that Bobrovsky didn't play that second game. You know,
I don't get
that.
A $10 million man.
It's not like
a
he gave
confidence thing. Is he trying to send a message?
I just feel like it's the playoffs. The whole sending a message thing, like that time is come and gone, right? Like you need everybody pulling in the same direction. I don't know. What do I know? But
I guess it doesn't matter. What he's making in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Just put in the right guy.
I'm just thinking like, hey, this is supposed to be the guy. We're paying him to be the guy, and we've got another dude who's kind of just hang. I mean, he was supposed to be backing him up, but I mean, he played solid yesterday. To be honest,
he was good. Yeah, I thought he played good against the Hawks all year too when he got his shot.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
He did.
But what do you think? They go down 3-0. You're gonna throw the kid in there? Spencer Knight.
It's like not Wheel of Fortune.
Watch them win. It's like, okay, see ya, Bob. Maybe the Hawks will take you.
For $10 million, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Dump that contract on him.
Don't give Bowman any crazy ideas.
Oh my gosh.
Please don't. Because we all know he's listening to us, right? So
yeah.
All right. So what do you guys got with Oilers and Jets?
Well, McGregor's going to come out, give him a little bit of that Irish charm, and he's just going to take it.
Probably.
I've been saving that one since we started.
Give it to him proper.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Jets do well, but I just think McDavid and Draisaitl, this might be their time to shine. They're finally going to get over the hump and kind of put everything together. But at the same time, your goaltending is not that great, so that leaves the door open for Winnipeg to still, he's
been good though this year.
He has. Yeah. I'm waiting for the wheels to fall off. I feel like he's on borrowed time, but like you said, Matt, he's been good this year. Can he, one last grasp at a cup run for him? I mean, he's not getting any younger. So,
no, he's getting.
But if McDavid and Draisaitl,
1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1 right now.
1-1. Yeah, that's right. 1-1.
Yep.
So we shall see. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking it's a done deal. I don't see them losing, but
it's the Connor show. You got Connor McDavid and you got Connor Hellebuck, very underrated goalie. I think he could. Obviously, I mean, it's not 5-0 right now. He's obviously doing something right.
He's keeping it together. So I mean,
their problem is Dubois. Mark.
Dubois,
what's his name? Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yeah,
he's hurt. Ehlers is also hurt. Those are two key guys, so that's going to hurt them with scoring. They got Blake Wheeler. I thought he was quiet this year. I didn't hear too much with him.
No, you're right. That's a good point.
He's the captain, and Kyle Connor is that the other guy. He's a good player.
Yep.
And then they traded Laine. That was their other goal scorer. So I don't know.
Correct.
I still think Edmonton's going to win, but Connor Hellebuck could probably steal a couple games.
Huh. Yeah, I could see him pulling a couple out for the Jets. We'll see.
Well, let's move on to the Leafs and Canadiens.
All right.
The waiting game.
I commented on a Twitter post the other day. They said that Carey Price was lights out in practice, and I said it's one thing to be lights out in Montreal Canadiens practice. It's another thing to be lights out against freaking Toronto Maple Leafs.
or the AHL stint that he just did.
Yeah.
He gave up two goals in the first 6 minutes.
Wow.
So if you call that lights out, I guess so. I guess it's your opinion.
I mean, I know we talked about it earlier. This whole waiting game is completely ridiculous. But that being said, I mean, I expect Toronto to just come, flying out of the gate. I know I was reading something from, I think somebody interviewed Joe Thornton yesterday or earlier today, and he's like, this is, everybody in this locker room knows this is our chance to kind of get over that hump and rewrite all those stories about us choking in the playoffs. And, maybe Thornton's the guy that he's been there before with the Sharks. Maybe he kind of gives a little bit more leadership. But, I mean, Marlowe had that too.
I've choked so many times that can't happen anymore.
Yes, yeah.
I think Foligno is going to be the guy that gets
them over
under their asses. Honestly, I think he's going to be the guy. And him and Simmons, I think those guys are going to really.
I love Wayne Simmons.
I love Wayne Simmons too.
So who are they going with in net? Soup?
Yep.
I feel like he played so well when Anderson was out. I feel like I know what's the old the thing is, you can't lose your starting job due to injury, but I'm like, he played so well. You got to give him the first game, right? I mean, I don't know if they will, but I would.
How long you think he's got?
I think he gets one loss. He gets yanked.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Whether or not that's the right thing to do, I don't know, but Anderson has. I mean, he had his conditioning stints. He had his 1 or 2 games at the end of the season, but now you've had this almost week layoff. I would let Campbell roll, and if the first game he's not in it and he's not up to snuff, then go with Anderson and pray to God that you don't choke again, because you're never going to hear the end of it with the team they have. So
yeah,
I hope they win with Campbell. I really do.
I do too. It's a great story.
To see him get rid of Anderson and use that cap space.
Yeah.
Give
it to
someone else. So
I mean, half the cap is devoted to 4 guys, 5 guys. So I thought it was bad when the Hawks gave $20 million to Kane and Tate, but damn, yeah.
These guys are at what? We got 13, 12, and 7.
So you're talking
Riley making
almost
7.
Almost
Morgan
40,
Riley's
almost a little
making
over
money.
40 million. Yeah, so that's half your cap devoted to 4 or 5 guys. I mean, the fact that they've been able to put a team together that's been so competitive is, lots of credit to Kyle Dubas for being able to do that. Yeah, and Austin Matthews. Yeah,
Matthews and Marner just showing up. Yep,
it's their time to shine. They're ready. I'm hoping they're ready to step up. We'll see.
Yeah, Marner has a 10.9 cap hit.
Wow. I'm sure I'm sure the Tavares deal it looked good when they did it, but now they're like, shoot, it's,
at the time, I mean, that was probably his going rate.
That was
everywhere.
huge for him. It was huge for him.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's gonna hurt him.
We'll see.
Kind of like Brian Campbell hurting us after we signed that deal.
That's funny. It's just like that, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Then these young guys are like, hey, I had a good season. I want to get paid.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Campbell, you're going to Florida.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tavares' cap hit is 11 million.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was 13.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, same here.
It could be his.
Like
that's what he's
bonuses or
making.
whatever?
Yeah, or whatever. It's just like the year or how much.
Oh, yeah.
Each year
the
could
average,
change.
as long as the average.
I think his salary can change, but the cap hit remains the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That sounds about right.
And
I think he scored like 20 goals this year, but when
Yeah,
Matthew scores 40, you don't hear about it.
No,
Right.
no. So
and Matthews it says Matthews is 11.6.
You know what though? That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. Their salaries are
bad.
higher. Like, like 1 year he's getting like 15 million. But
He's worth it after this year, man. He proved he could freaking score.
yeah, and last year too, he was on a tear
True.
last year as well. Or I should say last season. He was on
He's
a
going to
tear.
be probably the best American goal scorer, not goal scorer.
got potential. Yeah, pure goal scorer. Yeah, for sure.
Like ever.
I think so. I think he can get there.
I mean,
He's not going to beat Kane's level of talent and cups and.
Do you think he's a better
maybe
goal scorer
points.
than Brett Hall?
You know what? I don't really consider Brett Hall an American. Do you? I know he played for the World Cup a couple years.
Yeah, he had joint citizenship, right?
Yeah, I know that World Cup, that famous, what was that, 96?
96, yeah.
He was, I think he's from Canada, but...
I think he got his American citizenship. And then I remember reading something about he didn't like that he wasn't included on something for Team Canada at some point. So he's like, all right, I got my American citizenship. That's it. I'm Team USA all the way from now on. So
yeah. But, well, I think Madano is up there still. He's got like 500 something goals, and Roenick's a 500 goal scorer. Roenick scored 50 back-to-back years with the Hawks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Matthews has never done 50. I mean,
No.
I know it's a shortened season, but I'm still waiting for a Blackhawk to get 50. I think the Cat can do it.
He would have been able to do it this year.
Oh, for sure.
I hope he can. I want to see a 50 goals. We haven't had one since Roenick. That's a long time.
It's like 40 years.
Feels
like 30 years.
Sure feels like it. So,
well, cool, guys. You guys got anything else for tonight?
I was telling you, Mike, before we started, I saw something on Twitter that it sounds like the Blue Jackets may be hiring John Davidson to come back and be their president.
That's right.
That he got fired from the Rangers, but I don't know for sure if that's confirmed yet. I'll have to kind of take a look.
Do you think those guys were canned because of this whole Wilson stuff?
Like
the way they handled it?
kind of a thing?
Yeah. I think the Rangers owner wanted no part of that, and Davidson's an old school guy. He's like, you know what? Go take care of business.
From what I was listening to Puck Soup, the hockey podcast, and one of their writers, they got one's from the Athletic and one's from the he's an ESPN hockey writer. Oh, by the way, it says there multiple sources confirm John Davidson is being rehired as the president of hockey ops for Columbus. But from what I heard, that whole putting out that letter for the Tom Wilson thing was all is it Peter Dolan, I think, that owns the Rangers and the New York Knicks, and he was irate, and now he wants to take a bigger interest in the team, And from what I've heard from like basketball fans, like anytime he touches the Knicks, it's awful. So now like the Rangers fans are freaking out that if he wants to have a bigger role, that's why I supposedly Davidson and the GM, was it Quinn? No, Quinn was the coach, right?
Quinn was a coach, yes.
Who's the Gorton? Was Gorton the GM? I can't remember. Who's the GM?
Yeah, it was Gordon and Quinn, I think.
Okay.
And then Davison, the president.
So supposedly at least two of those guys said, no, this needs to be handled in-house. You should not be putting this out. We're going to get fined. And they got fined $250,000.
Yeah.
And apparently from what I heard, again, who knows, I don't know how true this is, but they said Dolan did not like that they kind of, went against his thoughts. And that was all him that did that letter. So the fact that those guys didn't want to back him on that, I heard that might have had something to do with them getting fired. So.
Well, you know what? All the NHL callers that call in on Sirius Radio, they loved Quinn as the coach. They were behind him, and I mean they're rebuilding and they're solid. They had some injuries and stuff, some growing pains.
I would take him in Chicago.
What was wrong with what he was doing? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna laugh my ass off if Tortorella ends up back coaching New York.
Oh, bring on Larry Brooks. Ding ding ding.
I mean,
round one.
Brooksy.
I don't think that's the way to go, but if they do, it's going to be hysterical.
Do you know what I heard about the Rangers? I heard that Tocchet and Gerard Gallant are the front runners for that job.
Really?
Torts, I've been hearing Torts to New York too. But I also have been hearing Torts to Buffalo more than New York.
Oh, God, that would be...
But
that's like a golden
Torts
parachute,
has history
right?
there. Well, he was an assistant coach there when he first started.
Right,
but he would be crazy to go over there.
No, I wouldn't touch that.
I wouldn't sign anywhere until you figure out what's up with Eichel. Yeah. If Eichel's not coming back, it's going to be worse than the Jackets experience this year. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
I would like to see Torts here. I don't know how you guys feel.
I'd be okay with that.
That's the type of coach I like to play for.
I'd give it a shot.
Some guys are different. Some guys don't like to get yelled at.
I wonder how the guys would react. It's like I don't really have an in with the team, so you don't really know how the players are. What they respond to.
Well, I mean, like I feel like was it Keith and Seabrook did not like the way Carlton coached, right? When that was kind of the rumors that was coming out of the team.
Siebes, I mean, he was a healthy scratch. Yeah. He's like, what the hell,
So I mean, I think
I'm the man here still.
I don't think Carlton's going anywhere, unfortunately. But if you bring in somebody like Tortorella, I mean, I think you meet with the veterans of the team and say, hey, is this something we, not that you want to give the players the final say, but you talk to them and say, hey, is this something you think we could make work? Could you guys help get the younger guys to buy in? I don't know. I would take them. I
agree with you. I would think that, by now the veterans have at least a feel for the team.
Right.
Right. I don't think that in any management position that you want to leave out the opinion from the guys under you. You want to see what's happening out there, before you start making policy changes.
Who do you want?
And I just ask them like, hey, how are things going? How are things going with the team? It's like, how do you respond to your coach?
We have no system and we don't know what the coach wants from us. Things are great.
Yeah. I mean, those would be glaring things, and it'd be like, okay, well, I'll take that back and we can make a decision on something else,
Right.
Because if they're not getting the system here now and they don't, it's not working, we might as well just go with something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys know that Nick Foligno convinced Torts to stay an extra year?
Yes, I did.
Last year he wanted to go.
That. Yeah, he was done. He said he wanted out, right?
Foligno's like, no, you're the guy here. We play for you. And even Seth Jones said that too. He said, Torts came here and changed the culture and made us a winning team. And
I mean, before him, they were a joke.
Yeah.
They were a revolving door of coaches. I remember, like, was it Scott Arniel was their coach one year?
Yeah,
and
Richardson or something.
Yeah. So I mean, at least he gave him some credibility. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Hitchcock's days his best days are beyond him, behind him, in my opinion. But
what about Bruce Boudreau?
I think he
Dave
gets another
Hansen's
shot.
buddy.
I think he gets another shot somewhere. I mean, his brand of hockey is more offensive. It can be kind of exciting to watch. I mean, if we're talking Hawks, I would take anybody in a heartbeat over Carlton because
somebody with experience, NHL coaching experience. Yeah.
That guy is just so just you look at him and it's like this is like watching paint dry. Like
it is, and his like angry press conference is like, I thought we played bad today.
Yeah.
Next question.
It's like
Torts would be throwing shit.
Somebody forgot to put new batteries in Colleton. Shit,
Turn your phone off during my press conference, Tortorella.
Yeah. So
what's that, Brooksy?
Yeah.
You get beat up at the bus stop a
lot. Yeah, man. It's funny. There's a few interviews where Brooksy says something, and
stupid,
and Torts is just like, you could just see the disbelief in his face, Oh, it's so funny,
Yeah, it's like, what did you say?
Maybe the Hawks could use a change of pace, I honestly believe that, Torts could bring in some, some discipline and get the guys to buy into his system because,
right.
It just seemed like the Hawks this year were just like it was just like they were just so up and down. It's like they're so strong one day, and then the next day they suck, and then one day they're giving up 50 shots, and then the next game they give up 20. And they're playing the same
consistency.
team.
No consistency, right. None.
I don't know what he wants to do. I feel like the defense has too much offense on their mind, and the types of players that we have, they don't play like the old school David Savard, Victor Hedman can play both,
Right.
None of our guys know how to do that. Boquist has got the green light on his mind. He's got like the Brian Campbell. I got to skate it up. I'm going to lead the breakout here. But I think we need a defensive minded coach like Torts, somebody like that. I don't think Torts would come here, but who knows? Colleton was at a press conference with Bowman, wasn't he? Was it 2 weeks ago?
I think it was end of the season type of press conference with season ticket holders.
So usually, like if you're getting a new coach, we're gonna let you go after the season,
right?
Yeah. So what are they gonna keep him and then fire him? So obviously he's probably gonna be here next year.
Yeah,
which sucks, but we're stuck with this guy. So it's probably gonna be another bad year on the bottom with who's in our division now. Are we going back to normal now? We're probably going to be the worst team in the division, I think.
Yeah, once they reset the divisions again, there's a good chance. Yeah. Definitely a good chance.
We got St. Louis, they're competitive, same players coming back probably. It's probably going to be the Hawks and Phoenix fighting for the get out of the basement,
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. I'd like to see. Maybe this is part of Bowman's plan, just to have Colleton as a filler when when they get some more players, especially with the question mark of Jonathan Taves, before he starts going ahead and maybe putting together a more solid team.
Makes Colleton a good fall guy if things go wrong.
Yeah, I think that's
except
his
himself.
point.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Self-preservation at its finest.
Yep.
He's good at it.
Oh, isn't he?
Well, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. That's all that we got tonight. We are going to be keeping up with the playoffs. We'll have this podcast is dropping tomorrow. We've got another podcast dropping on Monday. They're going to be coming every Monday and Thursday during the playoffs.
Matt's showing off his Tampa love.
He's showing off his Tampa. All right, and that's all that we got for you guys tonight. This is the TomaHawk, and we're out.